Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this. I'm so excited about this. Hello, everybody. I am here at Raising the Bar, and this is so exciting. It's just the best. So thank you for being in here. Thank you to the amazing Platinums who put this together. Hello, Stephanie. Hi, Courtney. Oh my gosh, it's so amazing. Oh, you have to click like you are going live. I don't know. Did I do this wrong, Dana? Dana just texted me, so I want to make sure that you guys can see me in here. I'm very, very excited about this. This is like just so exciting. So exciting. 2020 is off to a huge start. I have a big announcement for this Raising the Bar. My dad called me yesterday, and as many of you guys know, I do not look at sales reports. I have no idea what the sales are. And my dad calls me, and he's like, "Oh my God, baby girl." He still calls me baby girl. "Oh my God, baby girl, congratulations. This is so exciting." And I'm like, "Okay, what are we excited about?" And he's like, "You guys are up 42%. From last January to this January in terms of sales." So if we look at last January at this point, halfway through, and we look at this January halfway through, we're up 42%. And what I love about that and why he was so excited, like, sure, that's great, we're up 42%. But what that shows us is it tracks the trend of the upcoming year. So in January, it really does set a tone, the sales and the enrollment, about, where this year is going. And only 2 years in our 5 years have we had a January where we've gone up that much. And both of those times were moments of years of hypergrowth. So the only difference is that this time we're actually prepared. This time we have the inventory and the systems and everything and the amazing leadership, and we're in like this incredible position to take on that hyper growth. So basically what I'm coming to you with tonight, the first thing I want to tell you is that it by all markers right now, going by the first 2 weeks in January to set the tone, we are really headed for an extraordinary year, which most, like all of us felt this in our gut. But, I know for a lot of people, they just felt like last year, like stuck. But for us in the home office, we were hustling so hard to set everything up for this year. And it's here. And I'm so ready. I'm so ready for all of us to absolutely get on our rocket ships and go. So what the Platinums asked me to talk about today with you all is compounding. And it's so important that you guys all understand compounding. First of all, Albert Einstein called compounding the 8th wonder of the world, this concept of compounding. And he said, those who understand it will earn it. Those who do not understand it will pay it. So I'm going to say that again. This is Albert Einstein. Super genius. Compounding, the 8th wonder of the world. Those who understand it will earn it. Those who don't understand it will pay it. This is so important for you guys to just sit on that statement for a second, because it is absolutely true. There are 2 different sectors that have compounding. 2 sectors that I know of that have compounding. One is financial investments, and 2 is direct sales. Those are the only 2 industries that I really know of that have compounding. And the problem for many of us is, if you're not an investor and if that's not your world, this concept of compounding, and you come from where 99% of us come from, like a traditional understanding of business. You put your boots on, you lace them up every day, and you go to work, right? If that is your vision of, building a team, in direct sales, it can seem exhausting to try to build a team of 10,000, right? I mean, that seems like an impossible task to enroll that many people, right? So what you have to understand that's so beautiful about compounding is you don't need to enroll 1,000 people to have a team of 1,000 people. It's all about compounding. And the minute you really absorb this concept of compounding, the minute you do that, you will start to have a real faith and a real belief and a real understanding on how you can hit platinum levels in a direct sales company. It's so important because it is achievable for every single one of you. Every single one of you has this potential and this possibility. So here's the deal. I was going through these spreadsheets. We have all these spreadsheets that demonstrate compounding. And if you ever want to look at compounding, you can go Google compounding. There's videos on it. It's so cute. Courtney's asking me if I still have the margin to go live in the Raising the Bar. Am I in Raising the Bar? Everyone's asking if I'm in there. Am I in Raising the Bar? Yes, give me hearts. There's like a little delay. I think I'm in this group. Okay, you guys are giving me hearts. I'm in Raising the Bar. I'm sorry to stall this, but oh gosh, shoot. There's like a delay, so I'm trying to see if you guys are answering my question. Courtney's in here now. Courtney, am I in Raising the Bar? I am. I hope Lindsay's answering my question. Just say yes, you're in Raising the Bar. Okay. Courtney, if I'm doing something wrong, I'm looking in the feed here because I saw a text come through from you, but I just want to make sure because you and Dana both texted me, but now I'm totally confused. All right. Yes, perfect. Okay, so back to what I was saying. There was a link to connect in Game Changers. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep going, and if we have to share this video in another group, we share this video in another group. This link was shared in Raising the Bar, but no live. I don't know what that means. Okay, thank you, Courtney just texted me, thank you. I'm in the right group. Okay, just tell me to stop if I'm on the wrong track. Okay, so basically here's what you really, I was looking at this spreadsheets and I was like, I made a whole Excel spreadsheet about getting in to a six-figure income by a year, okay? So for many of the senior directors, I do a training called How to Become a Millionaire in Lime Life, right? So you have to go into, when you get to senior director levels, I'm going to continue to do this. And when I show them what it means for their legs and their enrollments, they're all like, okay, this is so doable. Like they can see it. Now, if I came to you and I said, okay, here's how you become a millionaire in Lime Life, it's very hard for you to see. It seems like insurmountable. But when I looked at how do I get people to a six-figure income, it's like, okay, it's totally 100% doable. So here's what I want you to focus on, okay? All of you. I don't care what your rank is. I don't care if you're a platinum. I don't care if you are a beauty guide in training. You all want to think about it in this way. In 2020, you want to enroll 10 people, okay? So this is your task. You want to enroll 10 people. Now that's above average in the direct sales industry. That's above average at Lime Life, but I'm going to give you some parameters on what that means to enroll 10 people. Now you might do a heck of a lot more than that, and I want you to, but here's why this number is important, okay? Every single active line that you build, and for you to get to executive levels, if you're not there yet, you need to have 5 active legs, okay? Now, for every single one leg you build, you are creating, you're opening a savings account and you're putting money in there and you're letting the investment sit and grow. Every single one. So Warren Buffett, the richest man in the world, what he did is this exact thing. He basically built a direct sales team, but instead of people, it was investments. So he took his time, money, and energy, and he put it in an investment and he let it sit and he just let it do its thing. Okay? And then he went on and he got another investment, another set of money, and he sat and let it do its thing. Okay? And he just kept doing that over and over. And he was not the richest man in the world in 1 year. He was not the richest man in the world in 2 years. He was not the richest man in the world in 10 years. Everything had to compound on itself. Okay? He was incredibly wealthy, but his growth curve looks like this, where towards the end of his life, when he's 75, all that compounding really starts to demonstrate its true star power. So every single business is going to look like this. Every direct sales business looks like that. Okay? And how many people you enroll, how many sort of teams you have building at a specific time, that defines the duration of your up curve. Okay? So the more people that you get going in the beginning, the shorter that flat part will be, and you'll start to see an up curve. Some of you went like this. Some of the platinums went like this. They didn't even have a flat line of growth. They went literally a straight shot. And they did that because they started their enrollment right away. Okay, so here's how you're going to think about this. 10 people. Okay. Now, if you get if you enroll someone and they're not consistently active, listen, we love them. This is not a ding against them. This is about your growth as a leader. If they're not consistently active and they're a hobbyist and they're a part-timer, again, nothing wrong with that. They are not to count in your 10 people. Okay. So it's not just quantity. It's also based on what it is they want out of the business. That's not something you can define for them. So you get someone who comes in, they're a hobbyist, or maybe they're not committed, or maybe they go for 4 months. It's pretty typical for people to be fired up for 4 months and then to fizzle off. That's so common. It's not a ding against anyone. That's really common. So those individuals, you don't count them as your 10 in your line, okay? What you do, if you have someone who is going to sell, and most people in Lime Life, if you look at the big platinum teams, the average sales per beauty guide in that team is about $400 a month. That's average. So if I take all of like a platinum's downline and I divide it by the number of current people in there, it's generally for all platinums, it's about $400. Okay. It's a little bit more than that. So what you want to do is you really want to think about, okay, if I get someone who's consistently $400, okay, I'm going to count that as one of my 10. Now, if you can get somebody who can sell $1,000 a month, okay, and is committed to leading a team, you can count that person twice. So they'll count as 2 enrollees. So someone who's inactive, isn't consistently active, we're not going to count them. Again, they have value. This is just for you in terms of your planning. They have value. It doesn't mean that they don't count in life, just for this formula. If you have someone who is selling $400 or more consistently a month, that person is going to count as 1. If you have someone who can sell over $1,000 and is committed to enrolling, they're going to count as 2. Now, your goal is to get to 10. And you're going to get to 10 by the end of the year. Yeah, so Chelsea just said, only 400 on average? Wow. That's the thing, you guys. Platinum teams, people who are making like well over $500,000 a year. Some of our biggest leaders here, It's not like they have a whole down line of superstar sellers. Like, they have a lot of people that don't sell. They also have a lot of people who sell a lot. There's an average there. Okay? And people are going to ebb and flow. And some months people are going to be gone and absent, and some months are going to be on fire. That's the deal. You can't tie your worth and your excitement and your commitment and your intention on the fluctuations that naturally occur in this business. You have to have a full commitment and a full understanding of compounding. So for example, Warren Buffett, when he invested that money, sometimes the market went down and he lost half of it. That happens. But he had faith. He didn't pull out. In fact, a lot of times he doubled down on his investment. He put more money into that investment that was down. That's a common strategy. And he let that investment grow back up again. It's so important that you guys understand how to win the game of compounding. It's faith, it's understanding, and it's patience. It's so much patience. But on top of that, you have got to push your action as quickly as possible in the beginning, because compounding is about timeline. So if you wait years before you really want to get out of your shell and talk to people about this, if you wait years, you're losing that potential of compounding. It's sitting there unused. So I'll tell you a story about Kat Aragon. You know, Kat, after our first Palooza in 2015, she said, Michelle, here's my salary at CNN. I've got to get rid of this job. I want to replace my salary. How do I get to this number? So we sat down and we worked on the worksheet that I was going through today. Okay. And I said to her, Kat, the quicker you can really go out there and find people who believe in this the same way you do, people who are committed to action, strong, savvy, confident people who are ready to run, the quicker you find those people, the faster you're going to be able to leave your job. And when I tell you, Kat Aragon went out there and she posted 3 times a day, what is my intention? What is my mission? Come join us. This is what we need to do. It was like, I mean, people were like, oh my gosh, like she didn't care. She didn't care if you were on her, you unfriended her because she kept talking about this. Her commitment to her family, her dream of what she could build here was bigger than those unfriending moments. They knew what she was about. They knew she was going for it. And if they didn't want to support her, it was okay. Because now, those same people who unfriended her are like, I was wrong. I get what you were doing. Like, I see it now. I didn't believe, but you did, and I should have believed. I should have believed at the same time. So you have to understand that, like, your commitment, your action, how you do this, all the tips and tricks that the Platinums are going to give you, every single bit of strategy, it works. You have to believe it works, and you have to go for it. So let me talk to you. You know, you're like, Michelle, if it's so easy, okay, if it's just about taking 10 people, again, if you have a strong person, they count as 2. If this is about finding 10 points, let's say, in this game of enrollment, why isn't everyone a Platinum? Oh, I'm going to give you the answer to that because this is important. Number 1, they start getting recruits, they start getting a team, and the first thing they do is they start leading that team, getting up the team's nose, feeling like they need to do more and more and more and more to help these team members go from maybe a hobbyist to someone more committed. And they stop having conversations and enrolling. That's the first mistake I see people have over and over and over again. If you are a star or a director in this company, there is a very good chance you are falling victim to this. It's exciting. You have this new team. What are you? Don't lean back, lean in, go for it. The more that they see you hustling on that recruitment, hustling on that enrollment, having those conversations, the more they're going to do it. But you checking in with them constantly is not actually going to inspire the action. Your action is going to inspire the action. That's the first mistake. The second mistake is when people get to top leadership and they think they've arrived. I did it. I'm going to tell you something, and it might break your heart, but you've never arrived. You never arrived. I have not arrived. Your first line, your commitment to the mission, your desire to help women, it's always there. And what I also notice is that when people stop bringing in new people and seeing the process up front of someone joining Lime Life and loving it, when they don't have that in their peripheries or it's staring in front of them on a front line, they forget the mission. So enrollment is not just about building a team. It's about keeping you in intention on your mission and your vision. No one does that better than an excited new beauty guide. They're the best. They're like, oh my God, I love this. Right? And they keep you excited. It's a symbiotic relationship that you never want to lose, a symbiotic relationship with new enrollees and seeing the vision for the first time through their eyes, right? The next thing, the third thing, big one, people tie their emotional ups and downs with fluctuations in the business. Your mission, your stand should be so constant that you never lose faith. I've heard a lot of people say over the last 3 months, which I really am glad that they say this to me. I'm nervous about enrolling because I'm nervous about the future of this company. I am so grateful that they let that fear be verbalized, because there is nothing to be afraid of with this company. The founding beauty guides will tell you I shared everything. I do not hide that from you. We are in such a solid, amazing place. Bringing people into this company has never been more exciting. You've never had a fempire that is more positive, more solid in its leadership, more welcoming than you have right now. So if that was in the back of your mind holding you back, like, what if I bring someone in and something bad happens? That is a fear that you are manifesting that makes absolutely no sense and is not based in fact. So this gets back to this concept of really believing that Lime Life is the place, that your team has work to do, your team has a clear vision, has a clear mission, and that they belong there. They're going to thrive there, no matter who they are or where they come from. You know, the next thing that I think is really interesting is people start to question their leadership. They start to say, like, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't be enrolling people because some of these girls are like not growing, not thriving. And they take that on themselves as if they're a bad leader. I'm going to tell you something that is probably, I don't know how to say it. I'm going to slap it across the face of this group. The people you bring into this company are grown women. This is their discovery process. You are not failing them when there are results that they want to see happen and they're not coming alive. That is their journey. Do not go in there and unlock their power for them. Let them unlock it on their own. And here's the other thing. We have a lot of data on this. If you go in there and you try to push them and push them and push them and push them, you might get small bits of results, but at the end of the day, it is their choice to put themselves on a path of greatness, and there's nothing that you can really do other than just keeping them completely connected to a vision, a bigger vision of what their life could be. Right? So as much as you might want it for them, they have to want it for themselves. But here's the good news. When you put them in that place of getting started and picking themselves up and unlocking their magic, it does give you a lot of time to go out and have more conversations with more people. It's really important you understand that. When you go out and you do a day of an opportunity events or enrollments or what have you, and you think, oh, my team needs me. No, they don't. They need themselves. They need to wake up and get to their desk and get to work. You cannot do that for them. Your job as a beauty guide is to go out there into the world and light people's lives up. And that is the best way that we are going to live our mission. That is the best way that you are going to help people unlock their magic. Because once you put them into this community, into this team, it's going to work. So getting back to enrollment and compounding. Once you get these individuals on your front line, once you've got that magic 10, let's call it, the magic 10, just keep going. But that magic 10 is when you're really going to start seeing your path to a really significantly changed future. You'll see it. It'll come alive. So you do not need to recruit thousands and thousands and thousands of people. If you get that magic 10, and then you just keep stepping on that path and you let those teams build on themselves, you will one day be leading a team of 1,000. Again, it's not going to be in 1 year. It's not going to be in 10 years. Not going to be in 2 years. It's probably going to be more like in 3 or 4 years. But again, how much action you take in the beginning defines your timeline. The more action you take now this year, the more that team is going to build, the faster that team is going to build. So if you have these results in 4 years, you can whittle that down to 1 or 2 based on your action. So the magic 10 is what you're shooting for, okay? And here's the other thing that's really important. Make sure the people who come in, those people who count as 2 in your magic 10, make sure they understand this concept. Make sure they understand the concept of compounding. When I had my friend Carol join us from, she's Brazilian, and I had her join the Brazilian team. I said to her, Carol, I don't want you to sell a thing. I don't want you to know the ingredients. I don't care if you know anything about the products. Don't care. Don't look at the comp plan. Don't care. I want you to go out in this next 4 weeks and I want you to have as many conversations as you possibly can about what we're doing in Brazil, why it's important for that economy, how they can get involved, and just start talking to people. I don't want you to do anything else except talk to people about the mission and the vision of the company and the mission and the vision of your team and why you're speaking to them, what qualities it is about them that made you come to them first. And she was like, okay. She's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yes. And let me tell you why. This is about compounding. So in 3 short months, Carol shot to the top of the enroller list in Brazil. She's got conversations with some of the top direct sellers in Brazil. they're not there yet, but they're really, these are women who have teams of like thousands and thousands of women. And she's just going whole hog, having conversations with absolutely every single person because she understands that every woman counts, right? You don't know when you're going to, have a conversation in front of you with someone who's going to be a future platinum. But you just keep having those conversations because you'll be surprised. When someone comes in here and it clicks for them, that person is now your new senior director that's your new senior director team you're going to have. You can't click it for them. You can inspire it, but they've got to click it on themselves. And part of the way that you can inspire it is to talk to them about compounding. Get them enrolling right away. And if someone's like, this seems crazy, be like, I get it. But here's the thing. The more you talk to people about your vision and your mission for this, the more they're going to support you in so many different ways. The more they're going to reach out to so many people and help you. So what I love about this event is you're going to get strategies upon strategies on how to enroll people, how to talk to people. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, we can tell you every strategy in the world, but you must unlock this compounding potential. You have to do it for yourself, for your team. As a future leader, you have to take action consistently. You have to be patient. You have to understand that every action you take matters, and you just keep going. You don't let fear or anyone else get in your head. Find your stand, find your vision, and go for it. And don't do it like most of us join a gym where you go for, a week or two and then you're done. Like, don't do it that way. Do it for realsies, because this is so significantly important to you building your inspired future. You cannot build an inspired future for yourself and your family without being able to unlock all the magic. And you unlock all the magic by doing the things, by having the really hard conversations, by challenging yourself, getting out of your comfort zone. You unlock your magic. And with that also comes the finances for you to be able to live the most inspired life that you want to live. There's nothing selfish about making money. We got to get over that. Making money is absolutely critical for you to be able to do the things and have the purpose in life that you want to have. It's absolutely critical. So that is compounding. This should be very good news to you. The Magic 10 is within your reach. The Magic 10 is within your reach in 2020. And here's the best news. If you're able to get the Magic 10 in 2020, your 2021 is set up for you to make a six-figure income. I did the math, I worked out the worksheet, and that's the real truth, Ruth. If you do the Magic 10 and you are able to keep them, now keep in mind, if you have someone join and by the end of the year they have left, you don't have your Magic 10. You gotta have your Magic 10 in order to be, once you've got that Magic 10, the clock starts setting for you to be working towards that six-figure income. Seems doable, right? Seems very possible. Well, let's go. Let's go. And here's the other thing that I want you to know is for many of you who are in Star and Director, get on this right now because you're not realizing the amazing potential of your income. As soon as you go from director to lead director, if you have these really strong legs growing and you've got good volume, you've got to get to lead director to get those generations going. And for many people, when they go from director to lead director, their income doubles, sometimes triples, depending on the depth of their team. So you've got to go for it right away. If you're a star or a director, you need to go hustle. And you need to get out there and find your 2s and your Magic 10 as soon as possible because that's what's going to get you to lead director. And that's what's going to get your income really like popping at that point. But I think sometimes people go up into director and they're like, Michelle's a liar. There's no way I'm going to be able to make 6 figures. Again, you got to have faith in compounding. You see it happen, you hit lead director, and all of a sudden it's like things start to grow. And if you don't see that growth, it's okay. Your generations need to build a little bit more. Have faith, have patience, be committed, keep going. All right? Thank you, Platinums, for having me in here. This is so freaking exciting. I mean, to have a 42% bump from last January to this January and to come in on fire where we're raising the bar. Yes, let's do this. 2020, and you're going to have inventory, and there's a warehouse that can take whatever capacity you give it. We've got this. All right. You guys are the best. I'm so, so excited. Everyone's going to lead you into the strategies that's going to get you that magic 10. Bye.